Hey everyone, Janet here. I just wanted to talk about what we are doing for our body, like caring for it. Are we adding stuff? Are we taking stuff away? And why and how and what's our mindset on it? I love, I've had things on how I um, even weaned off supplements. Supplements are fine. You can take supplements. And that's part of what I want to talk about. Like, what are we adding? But I was taking so many and they were you know, required for me to live. And there's so many fears wrapped up in all of it. So I love just looking at what are we doing for our body? And are we doing it because it's broken and we have to fix it and in fear? Or are we doing it because our body is a gift and we get to care for it and we get to add to it? And I've been sitting with this for a while because I watched our lawn, especially over the last few years, just basically be healthy in the areas that my doggy Sandy peed, which I know, uh, too much of a good thing can actually burn a lawn. So if you have a really big dog and she's a female and she pees all her pee in one spot, it's fertilizer basically, can be a little too much and actually burn the lawn. Well, Sandy only weighed 20 pounds. And so her pee, even though she did empty her bladder, she wasn't a boy who marked because the boys just mark. And so they tend to only fertilize. But if somebody pees, every bit of it, you can dilute it with a watering can, I guess. But Sandy was only 20 pounds. So it only ever fertilized the lawn. And her little section, she had, a fairly large section, but she just walked through that section and peed in this little section of the whole yard. Our yard is very small, so it's a very small section in a very small yard. But so noticeable over the years that it was always healthier. All the years I had her, it was always healthier. But over the last few years, as our lawn died, and most of the lawns in our area died, or got ripped up by the crows and the raccoons, only the section of the lawn that she peed in was healthy. And I've just been sitting with it for months, like thinking about how fascinating that is. And as I started looking at it more, so there is a grub problem in Western Washington, and we know now, like, because we were like, are we watering? The lawn dies in the summer because you don't need to waste water and you just let it die and then it grows back. And it always had done that and it had always been fine. But then it was starting to not do very well and just be replaced by weeds and moss. And it was like, oh, did we not water enough? But that didn't seem to be the problem. And we had never fertilized, but we have other neighbors who fertilized with the fertilizer that is um, and this is analogy for the body, but I need to explain this part. So there's fertilizers that are weed and feed. So it's like kill the weeds and feed the lawn. The neighbors that I know did that like really diligently. So really fertilize. We didn't fertilize at all. So this grub ate the roots of the grass. We didn't know that was happening all this time. That's why the lawn was dying. We never fertilized anything. We also never put weed killer down or anything. And so the grubs ate the roots of the grass. So the grass just got replaced by moss and weeds. And then the crows and the raccoons pulled up the rest of the grass to get these grubs. And so, but we noticed in the lawns that they put weed and feed, so kill the weeds and fertilize. They maybe had more grass, less moss than us, but more grub. I mean, just the lawns are turned up. It's just dirt now. The crows and or raccoons have taken it all. So they just pull it up and take the grubs. And so it's a problem. And yet there's areas that we know nobody fertilized, but there's a park by us and they don't fertilize it. They do water it with a, watering system and then they mow it every now and again. They don't do anything else. And it's quite healthy, except in a couple areas. And the areas that all the dogs go regularly is grass because it got fertilized. But it didn't get weed killer and fertilized, right? The parts that got weed killer and fertilizer, they still had the grubs. And so, because it created an imbalance and everything. And we've seen this so much. I've used garden analogy so many times that the areas when there's just a lot of life in something, then the weeds don't even have room to grow. Like, do the goods and you won't have time to do the bads. Like just fill life, speak life, fill your eyes and ears with life, and there's nothing, everything else just gets washed away. You don't have to turn away from anything else. You're just full of life. And so when our garden is full of life, weeds don't grow. We'll pull out a couple weeds, but I pull out weeds out of the other gardens in my neighborhood because if you weed other people's gardens, you don't get the weeds, right? So I weed their gardens too, and my mom does too. And but if they don't add some plants, then it just gets covered in weeds again. And so we're looking at this fertilizer thing and like, okay, so for future, we didn't know the grubs were what was eating the grass. We didn't know what was going on. So now we know, oh, okay, fertilize the lawn, but we're going to make sure to get fertilizer or just make it, minerals and things like that, that does not contain weed killer because I won't use that. I don't have a fear of this stuff anymore, but I really do want to steward my lawn. I want to steward my garden. I want to steward my body. And so putting killer on it isn't stewarding that or my animals or anything. And so I'm going to just add life to it. And so I see the same thing with my body. I used to do, adding supplements and detox protocols, right? I've been put on the mold detox protocol. I've been put on like the shoemaker one and I mean I stopped it, right? And I've been put on a number of other things to detox, right? And oh, they're supposed to be supernatural and they're supposed to only take the bad, but the truth is they have to take some of the good with the bad. And so it would like maybe help, maybe cause a detox reaction that was incredibly dangerous a couple times. But for me, but overall, it was stripping my body of nutrients. And so I personally, you can do whatever you want, right? I want to know why you're doing something. You check with God, check with your heart and everything. But personally, I won't do detox things anymore. I will only add, I will only support. And so it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to add support to the lawn to keep it healthy. And so we have the beneficial nematodes. We're going to get the beneficial nematodes that are the little tiny, there's the good ones and bad ones. The good ones, like good bugs. We had good bugs to our garden because the neighbors had killer. So it gets off balance. And so we have to just keep adding good bugs. And it's so helpful. It's so amazing to see that difference. And we can't control what everybody else is doing, but it throws off some of the balance. And so when you just keep adding the good bugs, it's awesome. And so we get to keep adding to our body. And self-lymph massage is like, hey, I'm just going to add support to my body and support to my lymphatic system and let my lymphatic system do its work. And so Sandy'd been just fertilizing the lawn, and this whole section has this thick, beautiful, lush, healthy grass. It's so amazing. And nothing else does. And again, the neighbors that were adding really regular fertilizer, but also had weed killer in it. I've watched their bags. I know what they use. They have a problem. They have whole chunks of their lawn completely removed. It's actually worse than ours. And so that we just didn't do anything. And so think about it. Just support your body. Don't run in fear from things because the fear causes problems and the killers cause problems and the things that pull everything out cause problems. You get to choose. You do you. This is not like, oh, you have to, these are dangerous. Do whatever you want to do. This is my understanding. People often ask me like, why do you not do the detox protocols anymore? Why do you do what you do? This is why. And I just thought it was a cool example. Post a picture of the grass of just adding, supporting, speaking life. Don't let the weeds grow, right? Give so much life. And all it is that bit of grass that's healthy. The roots are so healthy, they are not getting eaten by these grubs. And it creates such a healthy biosphere. So it's like just support our body and our body can take care of everything else. The body is amazing. So support it with us. In the Align membership, we do self-lymph massage. We do caring for our body, communicating with it in somatics and self-lymph massage. There's videos, live classes, streaming, all the stuff. If it would help you at all, go to janetmassey.com and click on the Align membership and it can help you with that. But either way, care for your body and just add support to it and have a beautiful lush lawn.